So following a good workout split is one of the only free lunches in fitness because it basically allows you to build muscle more efficiently, either by increasing your strength per set, handling more volume, and even reducing your risk of injury. So basically what I'm trying to say is choosing the right workout split definitely matters. The problem is, if you search best workout split on Google or YouTube, you're met with dozens of videos explaining why the bro split's the best split, or the PPL split, or upper lower, or full body. However, this is missing one important point, and that is the number of days you can realistically train. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you the best workout split that you should be following based out of the number of days you wanna train per week. And then at the end, I'm gonna give you my overall recommendation on which workout split overall is the best in my opinion. It's gonna be a juicy video, guys. Let's get into it. So when choosing a workout split, there are 5 important factors to remember. Let me get through these, and I promise you by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what split you should be following. And the first factor is commitment. Can I commit to the number of days that the split requires? Because at the end of the day, if you can't stick to your routine, then all of this goes out the window. Now the second factor, of course, is volume. Ideally, you wanna be able to hit at least 10 sets per muscle group per week across your entire week. Now keep in mind, you can include secondary muscles in some exercises, such as the triceps on a bench press, as half a set per set. And the third factor is efficiency. Does it allow me to get the maximum amount of volume while minimizing junk volume? In other words, the more concentrated your workout is on one particular muscle group, the more junk volume you're likely to incur as you do more working sets within that one workout. And then factor number 4 is frequency. Does the split allow me to train every single muscle group at least twice per week? In general, training a muscle group twice per week seems to be more advantageous for hypertrophy compared to training only once per week. And this should make intuitive sense since you're providing the muscle a stimulus more frequently than before. And then the last factor, factor number 5, is recovery. Does the split allow me to meet the standard 48-hour recovery rule for every single muscle group? The 48-hour recovery rule basically states that you want to make sure that you get 48 hours of rest before training that same muscle group again. Basically, you shouldn't be training a muscle group on back-to-back days. All right, so now that we know those 5 important factors, let's get into the best workout split based off the days. So starting with 2 days per week or less, if you only have 1 or 2 days per week to train, you're definitely wanting to stick to a full body split. Now to be completely honest, it's gonna be pretty hard for you to meet your volume requirements going only 1 or 2 times per week. So truthfully, I wouldn't recommend going any less than 3 days if you truly wanna maximize muscle growth. However, the best we could do with 2 days is gonna be pretty much trying to train your entire body within the day. But full body will pretty much allow you to try to maximize the volume across every single muscle group given your constraints. Only downside is that your workouts are gonna be quite long if you're actually getting through your entire body. So you might risk accumulating a little bit of junk volume due to just the workouts being too long. So a quick little tip on that is the muscles you're really trying to prioritize, do them at the beginning of your workout rather than later at the end. Now from a frequency perspective, if you go twice per week, which is hugely better than just going once, you'll still be able to train every single muscle group twice per week. And then recovery shouldn't be an issue at all since you're gonna be giving yourself an ample amount of time to rest between workouts. Just make sure if you're doing twice per week, don't do them on back-to-back days. At least spread them out by 1 day. And not gonna lie, if you're thinking about going only once per week, you're kind of cooked in terms of optimization. You really can't do much. So I'd heavily encourage you to go at least twice per week. And I think that should be doable for pretty much all of y'all. In fact, like I mentioned, you probably should be even going more days. Especially if you get yourself some new gym fits, feel nice and comfy in some Able gear. As you see, I pretty much wear Able in all my videos. I like to think of it as the quality of Alphalete and dare I say Lululemon, but at a much better price point. But look, I'm gonna let the clothes do the talking. They recently had a new drop. You can check it out on the website right now. And you can use code PATH to get an additional 10% off at checkout. The support will be much appreciated and you guys will snag yourself a deal. Now moving on to 3 days per week. If you comfortably can commit 3 days per week in the gym, you have a couple options to play with. Now first off, you could stick to a full body spread it evenly across the week, but if you're trying to train on back-to-back days, what you could do is either upper, lower, upper, or lower, upper, lower. This depends on your priority there. Now obviously the downside of that is from a frequency perspective, you're gonna have to sacrifice either an upper day or a lower day, but if you have the optionality to push one of the workouts further across the week, then what you could also do is an upper, lower, full body hybrid. In this case, your upper and lower days will be on back-to-back days, and then later on in the week, presumably at least with 1 rest day in between, you can do that full body body workout without having to worry about recovery issues. Now I know I'm covering things at the workout split level, but if you're honestly thinking, Tyler, I want more specifics, I want to know exactly what exercises to do within the actual workouts, or I just want more personal guidance overall and just take the guesswork out of getting my fitness goals, then I highly encourage you to apply to my exclusive one-on-one fitness coaching program where I pretty much do just that. So if you're serious about building muscle or losing body fat, or maybe doing a combination of both, have a little bit of body recomp action, then you can apply in the link in the description. Hope to work with you. And now we're moving on to 4 days per week. This is honestly where things get pretty juicy. We get to do my favorite workout split, so because of that, I'm gonna take my pump cover off. Now with 4 days, we're able to do a double upper-lower split, which is my favorite workout split because I think it strikes the best balance of not being too broad to the point where warm-ups take too long, your workout just kind of drags, while still allowing you to hit volume requirements and frequency requirements in a pretty efficient amount of time. And not gonna lie, if you're the type of person to be a little bit more flexible and fluid on which particular days you're actually training within the week, then the 4-day upper-lower split is perfect for that because no matter which days of the week you're actually training, you're never gonna run into issues where you're breaking that 48-hour rest rule because you're going back and forth between upper, lower, as long as you keep that order up. Meaning if you usually follow a 4-day upper-lower split, doing Monday through Thursday, but for some reason this week you want to push Wednesday and Thursday's workout later in the week, you can still do that and end up doing Wednesday's workout on Friday and Thursday's workout on Saturday, as long as you still maintain that order. That back and forth nature just makes things really easy to work with, which is why it's my favorite workout split, and it's one I recommend to a ton of clients I train. Now moving on to 5 days per week. Now if you want to train 5 days per week, I would still recommend an upper-lower base, but that 5th day can pretty much be a flex day. Meaning you can either do a 3rd upper day or flip the split and do a 3rd lower day, or you can maybe make that 5th day an accessory day where you focus on lagging body parts, for example. Once you get to 5 days per week, you really start having that optionality where you can kind of play with your split, have some fun with it week after week. I would personally recommend this over, let's say, something like a PPL upper-lower, which is what cameraman Frankie loves to do. I'm sorry. But hear me out. My main rationale is I feel like the upper-lower base is going to be more efficient from a junk volume perspective, because generally speaking, the more concentrated a workout is, meaning the more sets you do within that workout, the more junk volume you're likely to accumulate. And if you really had a muscle group where you want to get a pump tube or something, right, then at least think that 5th flex day gives you the optionality to maybe do a push workout if you really want to, or maybe if you want to focus on side and rear delts, whatever it is, while still having your early workouts within the week because of that upper-lower base, we're still relatively optimized and efficient. But as you can probably tell, the main way you ruin a workout is basically by accumulating too much junk volume, and if concentration equals more junk volume, well, you probably can think of what split you should probably avoid. Sorry, bro split. Now moving on to the juicy 6 days per week. Now with 6 days, what you could do is a 3 times upper-lower split, where you're definitely gonna be hitting your volume requirements since you have 3 workouts to play with for your upper body and your lower body. Your frequency is obviously gonna be amazing, but if you feel like training every single muscle group across your body 3 times per week is a little bit overdoing it, what you could do, and what I personally will recommend, is you can keep a 4-day upper-lower base, and then for your 5th and 6th day, you have 2 accessory days now. And this way, if you're currently doing like a bro split or a PPL and you miss having a pump, the 2 accessory days at the end should kind of help you, be able to get a little bit of that. But again, the pump isn't really important for muscle growth. It's more of just kind of a fun thing. And ultimately, one of the most important factors that honestly just came to mind right now is the fact that you should be enjoying whatever workout split you do. Because chances are, if you enjoy the workout split, you're probably gonna be able to train harder and be more consistent with it. Just keep in mind that those 2 accessory days should be a little bit shorter. Chances are you probably don't need like 4 exercises for 1 muscle group in 1 workout. Again, you're definitely gonna be accumulating, you probably guess what I'm gonna say, junk volume. And yeah, you wanna avoid that. We already know this. Now, for you maniacs wanting to train every single day, with 7 days per week, I would recommend an asynchronous upper-lower split. This is basically where you do a rolling upper-lower split pretty much forever. So to give you an example, if your Monday on week 1 was an upper day, your Monday on week 2 will be a lower day. Now, is this me telling you that you should be training 7 days per week? No. Do I recommend anyone train 7 days per week? No, not really. But technically, as long as you don't run into any fatigue issues, you can. I don't really see anything wrong with it. But it's honestly not too much different than a 6-day, 3 times upper-lower split. But honestly, I would just recommend to take the rest day here. Maybe if you really want to do something active on that 7th day, do something more like cardio-based. face, or maybe pick up a sport. Because I'll tell you, a big part of sex overall is being at a low body fat percentage. And chances are, just generally speaking by the general population, most people, even if they're skinny fat, aesthetically will probably benefit more from simply decreasing their body fat than fully focusing on maximizing muscle growth. Just a little practical tip there. And in my opinion, if you're willing to train every single day, honestly, your efforts are probably better served trying to optimize the diet side of things, since that's pretty much gonna give you a better exchange rate on every single thing you do in the gym. Now, one great way to optimize your diet is to make sure that you're hitting 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight every single day. And the easy way to get 20-ish grams of protein is by taking a protein powder like My Protein's Clear Whey. Honestly, because it's a juice-like flavor and it's not like a heavy shake, it's meant to be taken with water, it's probably the easiest 20 grams of protein I've ever tasted, because at the end of the day, it just feels like I'm drinking Kool-Aid or something. But, you know, obviously good macros. Now, if you like the traditional protein shakes, My Protein also has pretty much all of that as well. Their Impact Whey is really good, in my opinion, pretty decadent. They have tons of flavors. They just restocked pumpkin spice, which is my personal favorite flavor of all time. And the reason why I like My Protein so much is that I think their price point's good. It's like pretty affordable, but it's also third-party tested, so you know it's legit. And it tastes good. It's really hard to get that holy trinity. So with that said, you can use code TPATH to get roughly 45% off. Again, it's a great way to support my page. The support will be much appreciated. But if not, you can simply like this video. It's a great free way to support the continued delivery of these bomb videos. Let's move on. Now, the moment of truth. What is the best workout split overall? Well, in my opinion, it is the 6-day upper-lower accessory hybrid. Let me explain. Now, for one thing, I think the upper-lower split strikes the best balance of not being too broad while still minimizing junk volume long term. And when you have 6 days to work with, having that 4-day upper-lower base and then tagging it with something more concentrated on that 5th and 6th day, particularly for those lagging muscle groups to get more volume there, in my opinion, is simply a killer combo. And I'd personally take that over the 6-day 3X upper-lower split because, not gonna lie, I think hitting legs 3 times per week is kind of redundant. So with that said, comment down below what your favorite workout split is and which one you're gonna be doing. Hope you guys like this video. Hit subscribe to level up your physique and hit the bell notification button to get these videos right to you, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.